Good morning, Nerd League. Good morning, No Man's Sky fans. Welcome to the second episode of NMS is Life. I am your host, Nerd Down Dylan, and with me is my fellow host and friend, DG Squared. Good morning, Deej.
Morning, greetings, travelers.
So a lot, again, has happened this weekend. I think I can start, we could probably say that every weekend now with the ARG and everything going on. Um, I guess we could start with there was actually a nice little article that I found in randomly at the grocery store in Xbox Magazine, the official Xbox Magazine. It was kind of previewing No Man's Sky. Now, it didn't really give us anything new per se, but it was just nice to see a little article, a little write up previewing No Man's Sky and seeing the Xbox community getting excited and stuff. Nothing, like I say, was new, but it was just a cool article just to kind of get everyone pumped up. And speaking of getting pumped up, there's been a lot of other things going on with the ARG. We have these new avatars and things like that. What are your thoughts on that, Deej? I know you've seen these things, and they look wild.
They are. They look really cool. It remains to be seen yet whether or not these are the quote aliens that are spoken of that we're supposed to shoot, or whether or not they're our avatars. Um, they look really cool. That they've got some really cool new things on them, which we didn't think even existed on our regular exosuits up till now. I think most noticeable is that little camera on the shoulder or scanner. Um, there's also a component in the chest where it has. Let me look at the photo again. Uh, what is that stuff called? It's
Oh, right.
life-giving
Yeah.
fluid, fermenium distribution, liquid fermium distribution is what they call it. There's actually lore based on that. When you go through the monoliths and you're learning about the lore on the monoliths, one of the questions that they're asking you is regarding pulling Viking out of the lava. And of course, you got the three questions, and you can share some of your liquid frenium with him, or you can pull him out, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So this is all part of the lore, I guess, that goes with the game, and that is the fluid that keeps us alive and from sleeping.
Yeah, you know what? That's one thing that we haven't talked a lot about, and it definitely deserves a lot more light on it. Is the lore with No Man's Sky? Now, I know that everyone's focused on what's going to be added to the update, like multiplayer and things like that, and who knows what else. But yeah, let's talk some lore. Like, I'm guessing there's going to be some more hours of lore. I think with Atlas Rises, it was what 30 hours or something like that. They said.
I think so. Yeah.
You think we can expect that or more with the No Man's Sky next?
I think we can definitely expect more storyline hours to go with the new edition of PvP that they're adding.
Yeah.
There's got to be some kind of a story in there to link it all together, and so that's what I'm guessing. I don't know how many hours. Probably an additional maybe 5 to 10 hours or something. And they just, I would think, just like they've done in the past, they'll add it to the current storyline, and you just sort of pick up sort of where you left off, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, I think so too. I never even really. My mind has been so focused on avatars and multiplayer and everything else that I forgot about the excellent lore that's already in the game. And like, yeah, I'm sure they're gonna add more to that when the next update drops.
Yeah, and also the last update, there was new lore that was introduced with those the loops that you
Right,
see on those
exotic
exotic
planets.
planets.
Yeah.
And they're really kind of neat. They have a whole new set of lore that goes along with the abandoned building lore, which is really quite dark and interesting, and somewhat fun to follow as well. It sounds almost like they're going to be introducing some more of that to go along with the PvP. I'm sure there's a lot of questions about the Hex planet and the Shard planet and so on. All those exotic planets are they're dead. There's nothing on them except for Sentinel forces that come through those loops, like portals.
Hmm.
So that I'm guessing there's going to be more story on that. Perhaps that's where the quote great battle is to take place. On in
Yeah.
a system with
Do you think
multiple
too?
of those planets.
Do you think too? Like speaking of Sentinels and everything, do you think that like because like right now it's kind of like a GTA Grand Theft Auto type of system where you get into some trouble, then the Sentinels come and then you have to defend yourself. But um, do you think we'll actually see like just aggressive Sentinels or like a lot more action from whether it's space pirates or something new? Just to deal more along the lines of the way the game mechanics are going. If they're going to have PvP or if it's going to be more action, I would assume that there's going to be like some places you go where you're just going to have to fight regardless of whether you're doing something bad or not.
Yeah, I would imagine so. They've made little changes along the way with pirates and space battles and so on and so forth. With the introduction of co-op and PvP, there's probably more that goes along with that as well with the space battles. I'm guessing if you warp into a system and there is a space battle taking place, you can invite others to come in and join, or something to that effect. A lot of changes, I would think, even planetary changes when you're on a planet. If we can see avatars and other NPCs, we may have to interact with them in a more of an aggressive manner with our multi-tools. So our multi-tool might actually be, get to start actually being used with for the weapons that it is. Up till now, really, the only thing we've had to shoot are some animals and some doors. Right, we have to break barriers on the manufacturing and operation centers.
Yeah, and that damn dirty Mordite quest that I can't stand. I've been so good avoiding killing animals, and then it's like, now you need Mordite. Go kill stuff. Damn it, No Man's Sky.
Yeah. I try and find a nice big crab to shoot down or something.
Yeah, he was asking for it. So like with these suits and these pictures that we've witnessed now through the ARG, I would think too, like with those three avatars, or sorry, those four avatars that you see from the box art and everything else, how they're different. And then seeing a close-up of this suit that we saw with the ARG, I wonder how many of those pieces of that suit are going to be customizable. You know what I mean? Like if we can change that little ball on the shoulder or your helmet or things like that. It looks like you can, judging by the box art, but I just wonder how much of it's going to be customizable.
Yeah, I mean they could go the route of like other games where you have classes of.
That would be great. Yeah.
Like maybe an aggressive class or a scientific class, or who knows. So there's all kinds of different classes you could sort of label. Maybe you have to get these components through more of the drop pods, and there are more like multi-tools where you get a class-rated kind of exosuit. And the higher rating, the more gadgets you get on your suit, or colors. It's all going to be really interesting, and whether or not we can even customize it with decals. I don't think colors, like being able to do a full paint job on your ship or anything, I don't think they're going to introduce that. If anything, it would be decals, because it kind of changes how we've always gone and acquired ships and multi-tools, right? They've always been found in the color and the shape and the style that they're in. Being able to customize it more takes away from that discovery.
It would, yeah.
It would, absolutely. But being able to customize it by decals, now that's a different story, because you can do a lot of different things with decals, from stretching them and changing the color a little bit, or putting them in weird places where you can alter the color of your ship, or multi-tool for that matter.
Yeah,
that would be really kind of interesting.
Kind of like decorating your base with those things.
Yeah.
I wonder too. So now the ARG's been going crazy this weekend. There was the Myriad app updated, where there was like a little quest where we could go along. We were talking to Emily. I was talking to Emily in my backyard. It was great.
It's very exciting.
Yeah, and then we got treated to that picture. There's a lot of other things going on as well. You were mentioning this morning off air with me about another article, or at least a gamer who states that he's been playing the game. Maybe we want to touch base on that.
Yeah, actually, there's in the aminos there was I think it was an article that was posted You have to pardon the abrupt title. It's called the Colombian, but he's a gamer who's apparently played the game for 3 hours in the version of the next update. There's a couple of interesting things that he said that he witnessed while playing the game. This particular article seems to be gaining quite a bit of momentum, as people seem to think it's very legit. I don't know if it is or not, but he does pose some really interesting questions on what he's seen. So, you can go through some of the article and see it, and he talks about what is seen as far as your own avatar and so on like that. He states you don't necessarily see yourself, you see your shadow, and your avatar's shadow.
Oh, really? Like from a first-person view, or?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's not like a toggle where you can go back and forth between third and first person.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, maybe that's right. Maybe that's how the game is going to be. Doesn't necessarily show graphics of people getting into their ships, just that they pop in, and that you can see other people's ships.
Yeah,
I'm pretty. If that's right, I'm pretty happy about that. I'd love
Yeah.
to see other people's ships. What else was
and
talked
and
about?
just a reminder too to anyone listening too that this isn't confirmed. This is just another player who has stated these things, right? So we don't know if it's true or not, but we're just going on
That's
the basis
correct. This
of
is not
if it is.
confirmed.
Yeah, but we're just
Not
saying
confirmed.
if it is, then yeah. And this isn't our opinion, DG and I. This isn't what we're thinking. This is just what this gentleman here called the Colombian, right? And actually, we got this.
If you Google search it, you can find the article yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I mean,
not
whether
confirmed
you
article, but it is interesting.
yeah, whether you believe it or not, it is interesting. Obviously, if you're like us and you're antsy about the update and you just want to know more, it's definitely a good read. It's always neat to hear what's out there, whether it's I don't know if we want to call it fake news or what, but it is interesting to
It's
read.
hype.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a hype train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
is that
some really good stuff in there that was really neat, but I don't know if it's true. If it is, it doesn't look like PvP is in its full swing as what you would know it in, like, say, EVE Online or Elder Scrolls. It's for what this person describes, it's more of a co-op PvE type of experience,
right?
Which raises the biggest question of all, that Sean himself mentioned, that you could be, quote, that guy.
Yes.
Well, how are you going to be, quote, that guy
without
if what
PvP?
This article says is true?
Yeah.
And the only way to do that is literally to shoot your own friend while playing co-op, if the article is true. So
Yeah.
there's some inconsistencies that you can find with this article as well.
Yeah.
But I'm really looking forward to it, and we'll know soon enough in a couple of weeks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, more to read, more to look at, more to get your brain churning about. I'm excited. I read just about anything that's No Man's Sky related, because of the hate that it got in the early days. Seeing an article that Xbox One magazine put out kind of makes you feel good about the game that you're playing. That it's, it's not as hated a game anymore. It's getting accreditation, and I feel good about HG and what they've done to make the game and the fans happy. It's a 180-degree turnaround from where they were 2 years ago.
Absolutely. And that article in the Xbox magazine, it even says, the writer states, Space Explorer finally gets the release it deserves. And I just, when I read that, I couldn't agree more, because this feels like how it should have been. And I mean, the game, it hasn't been released yet, but I'm pretty sure when it drops, there's going to be a lot of happy people out there, old fans and new fans. Yeah, and it'll be a little bit more closer to what the developers had in mind for their vision of the game, which is what we've all been excited to see right from day one. And we've had several different versions of it along the way as it's improved, and it's actually been quite fun, because each time that they've dropped an update, it's completely changed the face of the game, and we've all started over and enjoyed it again in the new fashion. This will be no different. I think we're all going to love it. There's a lot of hype and
I guess you can call it bad hype as well regarding the PvP and whether people are going to be safe from pirates, their bases. Is it just going to turn into a troll fest with people waiting in every system to shoot you down just for the kicks? I don't think so.
Yeah.
The systems are too big. The galaxies are too big. They're huge. I don't think any one person is ever going to be singled out. Possibly some hubs because, well, the nature of it. Hubs tend to be in a fixed place. They get a lot of notoriety. People who love to troll, they also love to gather at those places because they're easy targets.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think PvP is really going to ruin the game at all. I think it's going to make it better.
Oh, absolutely. I think so too. I think it's just gonna make everyone wanna play together, rather than kill together. But we'll have to wait and see. I mean, the hype train that's rolling right now. Do you think there's any? Is it dangerous to jump on the hype train given the start of No Man's Sky back in August of 2016, or should we all just be super excited and hop on that thing and choo choo?
I think we can be excited. HG has proven that every update that they've come out with has been for the better.
Yeah.
No matter what game changing they've made, and I know there's been a few bugs here and there that people have had issues with the game or game saves, but for the most part, on the whole, the game has been pretty solid and has improved each step along the way. It's exciting because with a step like this, where they're introducing what they call PvP or their version of PvP,
mm-hmm.
I just can't wait to see it. Their version of multiplayer from the last update, I loved it. I love those little blue orbs, for God's sakes,
Yeah.
I mean, you never think you would like, something like that as simple and as easy, as a little blue orb floating on screen.
Yeah.
But it is... that's what I actually really enjoy, is the fact that you don't really know what you look like because you're in the lore of the game, just a traveler exploring the simulation.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just a ball of energy, I guess.
Or a glitch.
And it's represented.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's represented as this little blue orb, and other travelers as other blue orbs are floating around you. And we've gotten to really enjoy that. It's kind of a fun thing, right? Mm-hmm. Taking pictures, at massive multiplayer events like the Olympics. It's just a line of blue balls, which and it's a lot of fun, right? Because you can say, okay, well, which is my orb?
Yeah, we're all gender neutral explorers.
That's right, and we're so excited about even just that. Right?
Yeah.
And so now when they're introducing these avatars, which we're seeing, it just makes it that much more exciting that we can actually sort of see what we kind of look like.
That, and it'll just be exciting to see vehicles as well. Like I'm excited to be, whether it's a random encounter, just seeing someone else in a ship land, or at a trade station, something like that, or just on a planet seeing someone rip around in their roamer all of a sudden randomly. Like that. Yeah. That's exciting. I
can almost see small little multiplayer get-together events, like a show and shine, where you show up in to a space station or somebody's freighter or a planet base, and you're flying your ship, and it's all everybody gets to see your ship, and everybody's gathered around, possibly racing.
Oh yeah, like muscle cars.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. I can see a lot of fun with this, being able to see other people's possessions and ships and stuff. That to me, I think is fun multiplayer.
Yeah.
Right. And not in a GTA kind of way, right? Because they have that ultimate customization.
Yeah.
With cars. They have to be careful because you don't want that ultimate customization with ships, or it takes that discovery away, as we talked about earlier, right?
Yeah,
you want to be able to find that perfect ship. And each person's ship is different, what they would consider the perfect ship, right?
Yeah.
Your eye, looks at a ship and sees it differently than mine would. I mean, I like those crazy one-wing fighter ships. I don't think anybody likes those ones, but I do, and it's fantastic, right?
Yeah. No, it's gonna be great, man. I can't wait. So next week, we're gonna have a guest on the show. It'll be our first guest for NMS's life, and I'm looking forward to that. Did you wanna tell the people about that?
Yeah, we're talking about having Lily Hop on the show next week. Um, there's been a couple of interesting developments over the last weekend or so. There's been another person who's jumped through the 255th core.
Nice.
Actually, yeah. There's not very many of them. One of our own nerd leaguers, Genetic Code, has also jumped through the core in the past.
Woohoo!
And so has Alex Check from the Amino Hub.
Nice.
And he did it in PC permadeath style.
Oh, wow.
That's right. And there's some really interesting things because I've seen both streams and different things happened when you went through the core.
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe perhaps we should talk about that as well.
Oh, you mean on permadeath versus normal?
Well, either permadeath versus normal, or maybe there's a change within the servers to prepare for the next update.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so that sounds
that might
juicy.
be a great topic next week as well.
I agree.
Yeah. So it's going to be great. Lily's going to come talk about the cafe and some of the differences that we have going on there, which is a very unique amino because it's not like most of the other aminos where it's surrounded or based on a hub or a fixed place where people can come and gather. We're a little bit different. We're kind of like the Starbucks of the universe. It's like a little cafe on every corner. We're kind of everywhere as we're all nomads in the cafe. And so like every galaxy we're there and, all throughout the Euclid. And so it's more of a communications hub than it is an actual physical hub when you go to the Cafe Amino. And so there's information and knowledge and people's stories from all across the universe. And then of course you can look at some of the other amino apps which have hubs as well. Those hubs are great because it's such a good gathering place for multi-tools, ships, weapons, technology, supplies. Multiplayer events can be held in hubs. So there's a lot of really great aminos out there. The Amino Hub has got a great amino with, growing very fast. TOG is another great amino designed, I almost hazard to say, perfectly for the beginner player. They've got so many great things for somebody who's starting out their game to improve and quote, get the stuff. Multiplayer ships, tech. They even have a glyph path with 14 glyphs where you can literally, you portal in using only 2 glyphs and they've got a path that you can follow that collects the remaining 14. And it's done in like an hour and a half. You've got all the glyphs.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and it's not glitched.
Yeah.
This is not a glitch. These were actually truly found on the planet the right way. There's no glitchiness in this at all.
Oh, that's a great idea,
each one is, and each one is marked with a comm ball. Nice. And so you follow this path and you pick up a glyph along the way. It's really amazing what these guys have done at the TOG Hub.
That's actually, that's impressive.
Yeah, these guys have really made a great hub and easy to navigate through. If you haven't checked it out, I highly recommend checking out that hub and the Amino app that they use for it. It's that TOG is Top of the Galaxy, which a lot of people don't know. They're a newer hub and they're starting out. They're gaining some notoriety for their great work. They've made some great bases and great farms, and have really helped a lot of players in the game advance very well. So I give those guys a lot of kudos. So many great apps, such a great community to have. I almost think that the Amino is slowly becoming the unofficial companion app for No Man's Sky.
Yeah, it seems that way, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. It is, and I use it heavily over at the cafe. There's so much you can talk about because we're not fixed in a hub, and there's not hub-related information that I have to filter through. It's literally anything No Man's Sky related. Throw it in there. It's great. From videos, pictures, all that stuff.
No, that's great.
Wide open. Yeah.
So next week we'll have Lily on. She's the founder, I believe, right, of the NMS Cafe.
That's correct. Founder and leader of the NMS Cafe.
So we'll have her on. We'll discuss the community side to No Man's Sky, which is strong and growing, and we'll also discuss some more thoughts of No Man's Sky next.
Oh, she's got lots of great thoughts on No Man's Sky. She's got
Great.
An amazing personality, and she's just a lot of fun to hang out and talk about the game with. It'll be a great weekend next week.
I look forward to meeting her and having her on the show. Well, we are out of time, but that was another great talk, my friend. It's exciting to talk. Like, I wasn't expecting all those things to drop this weekend with the ARG and the new shots of the of your suit, the exosuit, and things like that. So who knows what's going to happen from now until next Monday. I mean, we're definitely gonna.
We could change our lineup. Yeah,
you
never know.
We're definitely gonna still talk about the No Man's Sky community and the aminos, but I'm pretty certain we're gonna have the three of us are gonna have a lot to talk about next Monday. So I'm looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun, and we'll see you all next week.
Yeah, you guys have a great Monday, and we'll see you next week indeed.
Alrighty.